Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Greg. Welcome to the channel. Today, I wanted to talk about the Atmakaraka in Vedic Astrology. If you don't know what that is the planet in your chart with the highest degrees. And this is a planet that's really matters a lot in your life. It's really it's one you want to really pay attention to. You know, you want to pay attention to where all the planets are in your chart, but this one is really an important one because it's got those highest degrees, meaning it's pretty much teaching you that main lesson in your life, and that's what it's about. Is it's teaching you that your main karmic lesson in this life, and different planets have different karmic lessons. Like Jupiter, Jupiter's a very expansive planet. It's very inclusive. It doesn't judge people. It brings people into its life, so it can be sometimes that can get off balance and be overly generous. So the lesson there with Jupiter is to not be so overly generous with people, and you gotta call a duck when you see one. You know what I mean? You can't just be all super nice and naive. You know, sometimes you got to put your foot down and put that boundary in front of you, because Jupiter is very open-minded, inclusive. You know, there's different lessons. Like for instance, my Atmakaraka is Mars, which means I have a lot of aggressive tendencies, and I need to learn to channel that aggressive energy in a more healthy way, to have more like a healthy competition with people, instead of really using it to make people distance themselves from me, or make people want to fight with me, or whatever goes on, you know, judging me, or I'm being too rude with people, or I'm not considering that they have thoughts also. This is the main karmic lesson of Mars, and that's something that I've been dealing with all my life. You know, even not even knowing that that's my Atmakaraka, I always felt this energy in me, this aggressive energy in me. I got a lot of energy to do things, to want to go do things, and when you don't use that energy in the right way, the whole negativity of your Atmakaraka starts to come out. You know, I mean, I look back in my life when I was younger, like in the mid '80s. I was very much into the hardcore punk rock music and the speed metal music that was just coming around, getting really popular. I mean, the punk rock came around in the late '70s, but the more hardcore punk rock started coming around in the early '80s, and speed metal was just coming around too. I mean, really, where it started getting a lot faster than Judas Priest, Iron Maiden. You know, it started getting a lot more aggressive, with Slayer and Metallica, all those types of bands. They were coming around, and yeah, me and my friends in the early mid '80s used to go to the gigs, and going into the slam pits where everybody's going in a circle, dancing to the music and pushing each other around. We just used to go in there and looking for trouble. You know, we used to push people around to start fights. You know, to really let out our aggressive energies on people. You know, just starting fights for nothing, just overly pushing people. They fall to the floor, and we start kicking them and all that. You know, so that was really I got off on letting out that energy onto people. And then as the late '80s get around, this whole gangster rap starts coming around with Eazy-E, NWA. I'm right here in Los Angeles, and I'm living right next to Compton too myself, going to the Compton swap meet or whatever. And me and my friends too, my circle of punk rock, all of us punk rock friends, we started getting all into the whole gangster lifestyle. So then I'm in a gang. We're all in gangs now, and we're defending our name and fighting and all that crap too, getting into trouble. Another way to let out aggression, you know, and demeaning women too. You know, really objectifying women and treating them like crap. And unfortunately, there are some women that don't mind being treated that way. You know, so you take advantage of that too, and that's another aggressive thing that I would do. But as time goes by, then I come into the early '90s. I start waking up more in a spiritual sense, and realizing all of this stuff is not doing anything good for me. I'm looking inside myself and I feel all of this crappy ass energy inside me that I got to get out. I got to really look at it, read it, understand it, and release it, and live in a more harmonious way. And I didn't really find out what my Atmakaraka was until last year, 2018, April. That was when I had my first session with the Thunder Wizard. And if you talk to him on a monthly basis or weekly basis, the first conversation you have with him, he gives you your astrology chart, and he explains to you what's going on and everything. And so yeah, that was one of the things that he told me, and I could immediately relate to it right away, because even like the last job that I worked in, same thing. I worked there for 13, 14 years, something like that, as a regular employee. And I got along with everybody really good, easily. I'm a Cancer ascendant, so I'm really cool with whoever anybody is. I don't care who people are, where they're from, what ethnicity, religion. I don't really care. It doesn't bother me at all. So I got along with everybody. The last 3 years of working at that job, I got promoted to being a supervisor, being in charge. And all of a sudden, once that happened, the people that have worked there longer than me, those people start giving me attitude now. Start just giving me a lot of attitude. A lot of attitude. A lot of rude attitude. All of a sudden, this friendly nature that they've had for me for more than 10 years is not there no more. So that kind of stuff really started pissing me off, and some of my first reaction was like, oh, well, I'm not going to be socially friendly with these people anymore, which in a harmonious way is the right decision, but the way I dealt with it was in a more aggressive kind of F you type of a vibe that I put out. My vibe that I would put out was, you want to mess with me outside of this job and see what happens. You really want to get crazy with me? I can really show you who's crazy. That was the kind of vibe that I would put out, and it would pull people back from me. It would really, it would work, but that's not really the harmonious way to deal with someone who has a lot of Mars energy in them, someone who has this stamina, this stamina to really do a job and get it done and really be on top of things. Because that's the way I was working. I was really on top of everything. I was even better than my supervisors above me. I had to remind them of things. They would start forgetting stuff, and good thing I was there to do that, or else a lot of things would have happened. Then you start noticing people taking credit for things that I would say, supervisors, stuff like that. And so I'm like, the people lower than me, I'm not vibing with. The people higher than me, I'm not vibing with. I first started there with that, with the attitude of people that were there, like passive aggressive kind of an attitude. You're in a good mood one minute and then you're in a bad mood the next minute. Somebody in the place is pissing you off, and now you're talking to somebody else. You're talking a bunch of shit about them, so everybody was like that at that job, except for me. For the last 4 or 5 years, I really started making an effort to not be that way, and people notice that too. They notice that people are changing. It makes them uncomfortable because they have a hard time wanting to express what they think to a person like that, and they start standing off and giving that vibe of judgment, but in the long run, it's really me, how I'm reacting to that. It's really looking at yourself and seeing, why are you getting so bothered by these people? I got to really understand, why am I getting so focused on how these people think about me? And in a sense, everybody wants to be liked too, but in another sense, there's only so much you can do to get along with people, and you reach a certain point where it's like, I just don't vibe with these people. I don't care how much money I get paid. I got to get out of here. It's just too much disharmony. But I really stopped putting out that really super aggressive, violent vibe to people at that job, and just, but I didn't have a close relationship with them either. So there was this distance kind of a thing, and that didn't feel good either. So my last choice for me was to just leave that job. But yeah, I just want to talk about that, how important your Atmakaraka is in your life. You know, it's teaching you this main lesson, and you can really reflect and look back on your life and find out what's going on, and you can see it working its energy in your present life. And it's really good to just constantly be conscious of what your chart is. And yeah, so that's one of the things that I give in in Thunder Astrology when I give readings to people. So if anybody's interested in getting a Thunder Astrology reading, I'll leave the link on the bottom. You know, you're going to get your Atmakaraka, and I'm going to give you a lot of other things based on your higher, lower, your middle self, give you your ascendant sign, your moon sign, your sun sign, give you a mantra that is connected to the planet that's most beneficial for you based on your personal chart. And this is really going to empower you and help you stay focused on your life. And, you know, there's always challenges with this road of spirituality, but for me, it's the only road to take, you know. It's the best, most healthiest road. It's the hard road, but it's the one that's most beneficial. So I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.